Hello, Padawans. Today we have a special edition of Talking Down to Conservatives. Today we're going to discuss epic conservative accomplishments. Yes, I'm laughing. The reason I'm laughing, there's no such thing as a conservative accomplishment. Not one. You'd think that they'd know that. I mean, think about it. 74 million people voted for Donald Trump. They must have thought there was some kind of accomplishment going to happen. Many of them thought there was going to be a wall on the 1,700-mile border stopping all those brown people from coming across the border. I guess race baiting would be an accomplishment. I mean, it gets them elected, so in essence, that might be a conservative accomplishment, but it doesn't get anything done that makes the world a better place. You know who does make America a better place? Undocumented immigrants. Not only do they work hard, they're good parents, they contribute through taxation, which Republicans do not, and without them, our food would be very expensive. Plus, they bring culture, food, dancing, music, community. They're much better neighbors than a Trump supporter is. I would rather live next door to 100 undocumented immigrants than one crazy ass Trump supporter. You know, all the time, conservatives are telling me I need to take in 5 undocumented immigrants, only they call them illegals because, racism. But here's the thing, none of them are looking to live with me. They bust their asses, they work hard, and they pay their own way. However, red state welfare is the only reason red states survive at all. Despite growing a lot of food, there'd be a lot of starvation in red states if it wasn't for blue states giving money to red states so they could survive. Let's look at California. They get 67 cents on the dollar back. Even Arizona is a taker state still. We've got a lot of work to do to become a productive state. But we only get about $1.19 back. There are some states that get $1.50, and there are some states that depend on government handouts, whether it's the military industrial complex, Air Force bases, or just welfare, Social Security. There's a lot of Social Security going to Florida, and they vote for the people who want to take it away from them. Anyway, I'm off track, so let's get back to accomplishments. So, what have conservatives ever accomplished? I have degrees in history, economics, and government. I can't give you a single example. I can give you some atrocities that conservatism has led to: the Inquisition, the Crusades, the genocide of Native Americans, witch trials, which killed 400,000 people, mostly women. Terrorism has only killed about 35 to 40,000 people in history. Witch trials by right-wing, conservative, whatever you want to call them, they've killed 10 times more. What else have they done? Oh, yeah, slavery. That was a big one. And, of course, the Holocaust. The Holocaust was based upon American policies, putting in Native Americans on the reservations, their genocide, pretty big ones, slavery, Jim Crow laws, lynchings. All of those things were taken into consideration when the Germans were figuring out what they were going to do, their final solution. Their final solution started in America. That's where the concepts came from. Conservative policies. I can't think of any epic conservative accomplishments that were accomplished by conservatives. There were 2 that were accomplished by liberals. I don't share those with conservatives because I'm not giving you ammunition, but they weren't accomplished by conservatives, so it doesn't really matter. So, to be fair, I'm going to list what liberals have accomplished. We founded this nation. Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson, a liberal. We wrote the Constitution and passed it, as well as the Bill of Rights. The architect was a liberal, James Madison. Conservatives did not want a democracy. And for the 1 billionth time, the United States is a democracy still. Not that you're saving it, not that you're trying to protect it, but a democracy, a representative republic, is a democracy. Try reading books instead of banning them. That's the cure for ignorance and conservatism. We won the Revolutionary War. Adam Smith's Wealth of Nations, anything Thomas Paine wrote. Thomas Paine was the most liberal founding father. In fact, today, his vision, or his view of what conservatives were, still holds true. To argue with someone who has forsaken reason is like administering medicine to the dead, meaning it's useless. They aren't capable of discussing anything or learning. He was right. He's still right. He wrote The Crisis, which helped move us towards the revolution. He also wrote Agrarian Justice, which was talking about how to have a just economy that helped the less fortunate, the poor, the seniors, orphans, by taxing. Yes, and he didn't want an aristocracy to be created by giving unlimited wealth to rich people. That's a de facto aristocracy that we still have today. The Lewis and Clark Expedition, the Louisiana Purchase, the Transcontinental Railroad. We founded the abolition movement. We founded the Republican Party. That's right. Abraham Lincoln was a liberal and would be a Democrat today. Confederates, they were conservatives. Same exact belief structure as the Trump Republican Party today. If you don't believe me, again, read some books. That's the cure for both ignorance and conservatism. The Emancipation Proclamation. We won the Civil War. We freed the slaves. No, it wasn't you. You wouldn't go back in time and vote for the guy who freed the slaves when you vote the same way as the KKK does every time you vote. The 13th and 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment being very applicable today, given the Section 3, which prohibits people who engage in either participating in or protecting those who did during an insurrection. There's a lot of them, including Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Ending the gold standard, which got rid of a lot of recessions that were artificially inflated due to, gold strikes. It also made the ability to own gold a private thing as well, which is a good thing for saving money. Some Teddy Roosevelt accomplishments, and yes, Teddy Roosevelt was a liberal. Trust busting. He got rid of Standard Oil, which is called Esso everywhere else in the world except America, because it's illegal to call themselves Esso in America. So they call themselves Exxon here, and they cross the X's to make them look like S's. Just to kind of spit in the face of government. Safe food. He read The Jungle by Upton Sinclair and realized that the food he was eating was disgusting. So he regulated the food industry. He also built the Panama Canal. He did steal the land from Colombia. Nobody's perfect. Most of the founding fathers owned slaves. So we're talking fractions and moving baby steps here. We ended the Great Depression and made depressions a thing of the past. We made banking safe for the first time in human history. The FDIC, FSLIC, those made banks safe. And the bank holiday gave people confidence to keep their money in the bank. He also made home ownership possible. Talking about FDR, obviously. For the first time in American history, middle-class people could buy a house. The amortized loan. Social Security. Minimum wage, which was a living wage and would be $27 an hour today if kept up with inflation. Won World War II, the space race, the Cold War. No, conservatives didn't have anything to do with those. Created the largest middle class in history. Made the United States a military superpower. Now we're the only superpower because of Keynesian economics and liberal policies. Medicare and Medicaid. The United Nations. Liberals have accomplished so much, but conservatives, if you're still here, you can't name a single thing that conservatives have ever accomplished. I dare you. I double dog dare you